Here's film breakdown. I'm excited to get into this tape. Brock Purdy and the offense really continuing to have a good season and continuing to stack good plays. And when you look at how the 49ers were able to get past the Seattle Seahawks, a lot of it had to do with the arm of Brock Purdy and plays that he was making, not only within structure, but outside of structure as well. So we're just going to hop right into the tape. No time to discuss other things. We will get to the other topics if we haven't already. But of course, this live show is brought to you by TickPick. No hidden fees, best ticket prices around. And if you are going to the game against the Chiefs, 49ers versus Chiefs this weekend at Levi's Stadium, make sure you use my promo code SF9ers and you'll get an additional $25 off your ticket purchases. But it's time to break down some Brock Purdy. And boy, this was fun tape to watch. So I'm sure you've already seen some film breakdowns. Plenty of other guys out there do phenomenal work. So you might have already seen a lot of this, but we're here to vibe. We're just here to have a good time. I know I'm a little late to it, but it doesn't mean we're not going to have fun anyways. You guys already know what to do. Drop an SDS in the chat, smash that like button, and let's get into it all right now. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. All right, gang, it's time to break down some San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy. Oh boy, you ready? One of the things that I continue to love about Brock Purdy is his ability to use his legs. We've all known it is there. We've all known that he can get active when it comes to creating with his legs, but man, he is doing it at a completely different level than I think we've seen him execute in the pros. And it's pretty positive to see. Again, just getting out, getting a couple positive yards here or there. Hey, we'll take it, man. We'll take what we can get because we're used to having statues back there. We're used to having guys when everything kind of breaks down and the initial reads aren't open, that we're getting a sack here. We're getting a potential safety here, but instead Brock Purdy is able to turn it into a positive gain. And when you watch Brock Purdy play, that's a lot of what you're going to get from Brock. It's not only him executing within structure, but executing without structure. And it's one of the things that, like, a lot of the guys that we put credit into in regards to the evaluation, Steve Young, for example, Steve was very complimentary of Brock, but then Steve's takes hit a plateau where he wanted to see Brock elevate his game. And this is a perfect example. I'm sure Steve Young, if we had Steve Young in the chair and we pulled up this clip of Brock Purdy stepping up into the pocket, then stepping back out, then making a linebacker miss to get the first on a third down, Steve Young would be smiling about this play. Again, look at Brock. We're going to see this all over the tape. Him step up, psych. I'm going this way. Making Jerome Baker's a good linebacker. Making him miss and then able to fight for a first down. Man, when was the last time you've seen a 49er quarterback do this? Steve Young? Jeff Garcia? Maybe a little bit of Kaepernick from back in the day. Maybe a little Alex Smith thrown in there, sprinkled in. Alex could get out and move. But something that we haven't seen regularly, something that we haven't seen in a long time. But I also want to highlight the blocking. Let's start with Trent Williams. Trent Williams is a GOAT. Look at how easy he makes it. Punch to the chest. You can see 55 takes his wrist. And then what Trent does is he readjusts, but he punches with his right on the back side of the shoulder. And he's so strong that that singular punch to this guy's shoulder on the inside pushes him to the turf, completely takes him off balance. And that's why Trent is the best offensive lineman in football. He makes this look so easy, but this is so drenched with technique. It's unbelievable. Again, popping the hips out, pause, then pushing on that shoulder. One, he removes the leverage and then pushes down. Fan freaking tastic. Now let's watch Dominic Puni on the other side. So Dominic Puni's got a guy in the 3 tech in the outside shade. He's going to have this guy fully taken care of. But do you notice where Dominic Puni is looking? His eyes are right out here to McKivitz. What's that guy going to do? Puni is still engaged with this guy, and he strikes this guy. Dude, this is so good. Why is 77 and 64 on one guy? Because they are sliding protection to the right. So as you can see, sliding protection to the right. They're going to double. That's why Puni knows he's got help to the inside with Jake Brendel. That's why his eyes are outside. This allows Puni to disengage and make sure he provides help to the inside. So that's why you get this wall. You have one-on-one with Banks, one-on-one with Trent, sliding protection to the right. That is why these two are on this guy. Very normal, very on point, and it allows Brendel being here allows Puni to be able to engage and pick this up. I thought this was a very small detail, but to me it continues to speak to the high level for Puni. Is he's got this guy locked up, and then he engages this other he's still holding on. He's blocking two. What have we talked about on this channel when we're breaking down Dominic Puni? We started this in the preseason. He blocks two regularly. It's a common theme that we see Puni in about once a game blocking two at one time. That is fantastic. Have to give credit. I do think Banks does a pretty solid job. I mean, he's one-on-one here. And again, you get Purdy take advantage and just making something out of nothing. It's great job. Great job all around. Really, I don't know what the breakdown was in the route concept. I don't know what the read progression is. Looks like he wants Ayuk to maybe George, and then isn't feeling it, and then no one's open, so he bails. We'll take it. We'll take it all day. All day. I had a lot of fun watching this tape. This was good tape. Good tape right here. This is a great adjustment by Brock. It's also a phenomenal adjustment by Deebo Samuel to help Brock in this situation. You're going to get a play action, naked boot. You have a defender right in his throwing lane. So you're going to see him adjust and then pop this ball over the top of the defender, and Deebo Samuel is going to make a phenomenal catch. And again, it's really important that you have to be able to identify when there is someone in the passing lane that a good quarterback is going to adjust. Josh said, "Oh wait, that's not a sidearm." Don't worry. We'll get the sidearm on a different look that is very similar to this. So he's going to get a similar look, and you're going to just see again the range that Brock can make plays. This one, he goes over the top. And because he goes over the top and he can't really step into it, it's a little behind, but great job by Debo to make that snag. Still, high level difficulty throw to be able to come out of play action, linebacker waiting there, and you just have to pop this ball over him to make the completion. Really good play right there by Brock Purdy. Great catch by Debo Samuel to help your quarterback out. That's what it should be about. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's about playing together and each guy doing their part in order to get after it. This run was fantastic. We had some more phenomenal blocking on this one. You're going to get great blocking from Brendel and Puni to reach block. You're going to get Banks and Trent to wall their guys off. We're going to come back to George Kittle absolutely decleating, I think their safety, either their safety or nickel. I'm not really sure. But this was fantastic. Let's watch Kittle on this one. I think what are they going to do? A little bit of no, he said I'm just going straight to second level. Koosh. Look at Kittle dominate Love. Bam. Honestly, I've been waiting for one of these Kittle cakes for a while, and we got one, and at a perfect time on a perfect play. This is beautiful. This is going to be pitch, and I feel like so it is designed to look like an outside run. I really do believe this is pitch action, but we're talking inside zone. That's really what this play feels like. Typically, pitches, you're trying to hit this outside edge, but based on this relation, or it's just a better read by Jordan Mason, it feels almost intentional to cut this up inside because you get all the defense flowing over the top. And then JP, you get again great reach block by Brendel. This hole isn't like this if Brendel doesn't get that block. Puni getting to second level reach blocking. Jordan Mason doesn't break free without those two blocks. So this is just a phenomenal job up front. And then you got to credit Jordan Mason for breaking some tackles. Juwan getting a little piece. I love this, man. Fantastic. Fantastic. Again, this was fun tape to watch, not only just from Brock Purdy cooking, but we got some good offensive line play. We got good running by Jordan Mason. We got some good stuff. Again, it's not always perfect, and it will never be perfect, but it's about stacking consistent plays together and body of work. This throw was a very difficult throw, and I think it could kind of skim past some people with how difficult of a throw this is. If you've ever thrown a ball, baseball, a football, and you understand the physics of throwing, right? This is a hard throw because not only are you fading away from your target, you're having to kind of drop back and go to the side. So your momentum is taking you far and away from your target. And so as a result of that, you have to compensate for the physics of your body going the opposite direction of where you want the ball to go. And so for Brock, he's got to kind of set this up. This is to me shortstop turn and two. Shortstop either turn and two, right? Where you hit the bag as a shortstop, you hit second, and then you fling it to first. You even get the little bend of the ball. This is a challenging throw, and he makes it look easy. And this is why people, I think, discredit him for what he does. Under center, 5-step drop, steps up into the pocket, baits the defensive tackle to the inside. This actually helps him a little bit by more time. Try to set up his block again. Sets up a little too far outside of Trent, but still bought himself enough time to sling that thing to Jawan Jennings. Phenomenal. Truly beautiful. And again, some people could look at this throw and they'd just be like, "Oh, he's scrambling around and he just kind of sidearm slinged it." That's a challenging throw. That's a good throw. We like that throw. Very nice. This play I thought was a interesting call considering the time of it, right? So was this 3rd and 2, or this was 3rd and 2, where you got like the mesh action, run up, pop pass. Honestly, watching this play in real time, I was like, I hate this play. I hate this call. What a terrible call. What a terrible play. What are we doing here? But honestly, like after looking at it on tape, I don't hate it as much because although it's a little risky, I do think it was just a better play by the defender. If you watch 20, he undercuts Kittle. He makes a better play on this route. He just put himself in a phenomenal position to make a play on that ball. If you got any instance where this guy like stutters or bites on the run and he doesn't immediately undercut this route, this is probably a big gainer because just a half a step, Kittle's open. A half a step more, that's probably close to being a completion, but it's just a better play by the DB. So, like I said, I didn't like this in real time. I was like, what are we doing? Because this is a really hard block for Brendel to come all the way over here to try to wall this guy off. That's just a difficult block. I thought if you would have just handed the ball off to Mason, you're probably set up actually based on the front to be favorable for the fake run that you called. So it's like a trap or a power. I felt like if they ran the trap or they ran the power, they actually would have gotten it based on this look, right? Because Kittle goes to linebacker, Puni kicks out 58. If you get Debo coming up to 20, like this actually would be blocked really. The numbers actually are really, really well for the run to actually be successful. But okay, they go with this pop pass. Again, I didn't love it in real time. After looking at it on tape, I'm like, all right, all right, all right. It's a better play by the defensive back. Just a better play. He did a really good job of undercutting that route. And if he didn't, there's probably a really good chance that Kittle takes this, you get a first down. It was a bit of, and it would have been a call that we would have said, Oh, Kyle's in his bag. So that's the thing. I didn't like it in real time, but if they would have completed this, we absolutely would have said Kyle's in his bag. Look at Kyle Cook. So my opinion after watching it back shifted a little bit, and I could be like, okay, in real time, not a fan. After the fact, I see it a little bit more than what I did previously. But that put the 49ers in a position to have this play go off. Now, I saw a lot of debate about this, which I guess I'm not surprised by that. Um, because I think with what we heard on this throw is certain people didn't like this throw. I felt in real time watching it, I was actually in the corner of this. So like this ball, like I was kind of in the corner of this stadium. I thought that in real time it felt a little bit underthrown, but if you really look at the throw, considering he's got yet again a defender in his face, O line right in his lap, and he puts this ball up. The ball placement actually pulls Debo away from the safety. And the ball placement actually is the best placement for Debo to get out of that and not get clobbered. So you can go ahead and argue, was that intentional? Was that part of the plan? Was that part of the process? I don't know. I'm not Brock. I don't know what he was thinking. But what I do know is the results, and that ball placement probably couldn't have been any more perfect considering the circumstance, considering you have a safety over the top. Debo breaks into this void. He puts it up, and it actually pulls him back towards the field where he then is able to cut against the grain of this safety and make the catch and have a forward momentum that allows him to be the defensive player. So again, I can't tell you if that's where he really wanted to put the ball, but what I can tell you is that ball placement actually was probably about as perfect as you could put it, considering what the outcome was and what the desired outcome would be. Is you gave Debo Samuel a shot to go and get it. Not only did he go and get it, but it pulled him away from the safety, and Debo was able to make a play after the fact. So it's a good read, good throw in my book. I'll call that a good throw. You want to say there's a little luck involved with how the safety played that? Fine. I'm not going to sit here and say there's no luck in football. Football is a lot about luck, how things pan out. And guess what? That defender took a tough angle that put him out of position. This is probably one of Brock's better incompletions that I've seen. Just how he was able to. This was the common theme of Brock in this particular one, is he would step up and out. So you can see when he steps up, he's baiting the free rusher to an angle and absolutely cooked him. Like, this is just watch the ankles. Ooh. Just that little movement in the pocket fried number 2. Completely free. And again, I don't know why this keeps happening. The 49ers keep sliding their protection away from the heavy side, and that it keeps resulting in a free rusher. So ideally, you'd have a hot right to be able to get this out to, but based on the way this looks, there's not really anything available. So it's kind of up to Brock. It's on Brock to make this play successful or not get sacked. And so it's a pretty good job. Great job by Purdy to make that guy miss. All right, we got another one coming up. This is a good run. Let's see how the blocking develops up front. Great job by Banks. I really wanted to see Banks step his game up. And although he had a couple plays that weren't great, I would say overall, Banks definitely played much better than he has in the past couple weeks. So he does a good job of getting his guy. You get a good job here by Brendel getting to backer. Puni beats his guy a little too fast. So he's trying to oh crap, I got to make sure he doesn't get Mason. Actually, solid block by Debo. I actually really like that. So this is good blocking up front. Good cut by JP. Get north south. I have a funny one coming up for you guys that I think you're going to laugh at. I think Kyle Juszczyk needs to I don't know, buy Isaac Guerendo lunch, because I think he's responsible for taking away probably what would have been one of the sickest highlights of Guerendo's early career. And I know you're thinking, well, he did have that really big run. He did, but I think Guerendo almost had a beauty, and Juice basically tackled him. Where is it? Why is it not coming up? Is it right here? No, that's. Where's my Guerendo run? I really want to show you because I got a laugh out of it. That's not it. Where's my Guerendo run? That's not it. Purdy to Ayuk. Light work, easy money, but that's not my Guerendo run. Where's my Guerendo run? Damn it. I'm going to have to find this Guerendo run. This is going to piss me off. Why did my notes? Don't you hate it when your notes lie to you? You're like, but my notes said at 1807 almost big Guerendo run, and this is not it. Is it? Oh, I am tripping. All right, let me see why I said this. I said almost big Guerendo run. Oh, I see why I said this. I see why I said this. So it is almost big Guerendo run because if Brendel can seal this, if Brendel gets that lane, you get a great block here. This guy's out of the way. This is actually a great way to press the hole. And then the cut, if Brendel was able to get this block, you're getting Isaac Guerendo with this space one-on-one, and he could make one guy miss, and he's a touchdown. I will not chill. I will not chill when my notes are wrong, but I get why I said it. But because I'm on it, on the topic, I want to show you what I was talking about. This is the one I was talking about. I'm chill now because I found it. So this run could have been a huge highlight, but he got tackled by Juice. I would love to be a fly on the wall when they broke this one down in the running back room, because you're going to get a massive, just like, Guerendo stiff armed this guy. Look at this. Stiff armed him, and he gets tripped up by Juice. Oh, I think if Guerendo gets Juice in front of him, if Juice is up here, you get a 6 stiff arm, and then you might get, with Guerendo's speed, he might be able to get that edge, and he might be able to hit that pylon. I thought we were close. I was watching this. I'm like, oh no, Juice is the one who brought him down. We were so close to having a big play by Guerendo right there. It was still a nice run, nice play. That's friendly fire right there. Michael says 60 watching with an active chat. Shout out to SDS. Appreciate you, Michael. All right. I'm chill now. Joshua was talking about the sidearm. We got the sidearm coming up here. So we saw the first one where it's a play action naked boot, and you see that the first one he threw over the defender. This one he throws around the defender. Beautiful adjustment by Purdy. Again, having a guy who can throw from every arm slot and every arm angle is so nice to have. Former baseball player right there. Love it. I think we get a nice little scramble drill. Again, it's so nice having a quarterback who can get first downs with his legs. Again, one of the reasons that Brock isn't considered an elite quarterback is because this stigma around his ability to use his legs. He's not a dual threat quarterback, right? But he's proven to everyone that just because I didn't use my legs doesn't mean I can't use my legs. Oh, we got a birthday in the chat. Happy birthday to Charlene. Love to see it. Rocking the Purdy jersey. Wear it proud because Purdy is balling. All right, 2256. We're going to get opposite side hash outside the numbers to Jawan Jennings. Easy. First down. Dart. Brock's arm strength is definitely where it needs to be. His arm has gotten better. Who would have knew that after UCL surgery that his arm would actually get better? I feel like the ball's coming out of his hand. Like he's already got a quick windup, but that ball wastes no time getting there. No time at all. Cornerback can't even make the adjustment. That ball's there and it's there in a hurry. Again, might not look like a crazy throw, but those outside the opposite side hash, outside the number throws are difficult throws because they can be undercut. If you don't throw with correct timing or if you don't have a strong enough arm, that's where they get you. I love this throw from Brock. Pocket collapsing, steps up, able to identify the open void, finds Kittle, gets it to Kittle. Love it. Love it. Beautiful. I'll take that all day. All right, let's look at the Brock dime coming up, shall we? We're gonna get Purdy. Where is it? It's coming up. The setup is building. All right, so this was the throw that Nick Wright said this was a better play by George than it was by Brock. This is such a challenging throw. The before it's even out of Brock's hands, before Brock has even began his windup, the safety is already driving on the route. So he's already trying to come down on this. So that is such a challenging throw. Opposite side hash to the front corner pylon in a window that you can maybe fit a credit card through. Defensive back already driving on the route. This is a crazy throw. This is an elite throw. This is an elite throw. Literally the only spot that you can put this ball where it's a touchdown on this throw. Shoo. Wow. What a phenomenal throw. We got a Trent Williams pancake in here somewhere. Oh, look at Trent. That's not fair to put Trent on a DB. Just absolutely engulfs the DB. Look at this. Trent on 24. Shoo. Get him. Get him, Trent. This throw is also crazy because Brock is going to be actually getting tackled while completing this throw over the middle. So when you take a look at this and you really slow it down frame by frame, he is going to have a defender so look, defender on the shoulder or on his elbow. So on him right there, somehow still goes into the windup with two defenders around him. He's getting tackled. You'll see on the other look, he's actually getting tackled while throwing this ball. Defender on his throwing elbow. The defender is literally tackling him as this ball is coming out of his hands and still completes it. Like, I don't even know how that ball got off. It doesn't even make sense to me. That's a crazy throw right there. Again, throwing arm getting grabbed somehow, like right here. He has got a hand on his throwing arm, goes into windup, getting tackled, somehow still completes the pass. Like, come on, man. This one was close. This one was pretty close. His ability to kind of get out, escape, and that was close, man. Like, look at that sidearm. Almost caught it too. Again, any other quarterback does something like this, people freaking out. Why doesn't he get any credit? It's mind-boggling to me. Honestly, I wouldn't prefer it any other way. I kind of like that people discredit him, pick at him, nitpick his game. I think it fits the mentality that he has. I think it fits the kind of quarterback that he is. And when the credit does come, he won't care about the credit. That's the best part about him is he doesn't care. I really don't think he cares. I think if anything, the doubt fuels him, but he's not doing it for the credit. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Here he jukes again, takes 55's ankles by doing his thing, like he's doing all game where he steps up and then jets out and still completes it. Again, we've seen him do this all game where he threatens up into the pocket and then bounces out of the pocket. So that's kind of a new thing that he's been doing consistently, at least in this game, is the threat of a run up the middle and then he bounces outside. It's pretty solid. Pretty good look. This one, my notes say heads up play to find juice. So I don't think that based on what I'm seeing here is juice being a really a part of the progression. If anything, he's just a outlet. Brock is going to the right. You see him, he pump fakes, and then he's able to reset, buy some time, falls back into the end zone, and finds juice for a solid gain. Again, when things are breaking down, Brock's still able to make plays. Let's try to take a look at what he's seeing on the right. So you got a little Patrick Taylor, you got Ayuk. He doesn't like either of those. Comes off of it, feels the pressure coming around, just finds the open guy, gets it to juice. Oh, I think we got our no look play that got everyone's panties all on a bunch. Let's see. All right. So this was the play that Chase Daniels broke down. He quantified this as a no look because with where the eyes are at the beginning of the windup to where they end, it's not like one of the no looks that Stafford does where his eyes stay that way and throws, but you can still tell this is big time eye manipulation. You can see where his eyes are looking at the beginning of the windup, and when he's through to the windup, he's back down the center. So that's why it's quantified as a no look, because theoretically, in the context of the play, he isn't looking at this hole where he is throwing. He is looking over here, which is going to keep the safety squatting down in this zone. And then he fires right off the inside of him. It's the second week in a row he's done this, where if you want to make the argument that this isn't like a Matthew Stafford no look, great. It's not. But it's still a variation of a no look, because if you look at it, he's looking at Taylor, which is going to keep two sitting down, and then he pops his head right back around. So eye manipulation, holds two, and then boom. And again, if you don't quantify this as a no look, that's okay. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. But when we look at it, it is what it is. It's eye manipulation. He's looking at one part of the field when he begins his windup, and at the end of the windup, that's the difference. I call it no look because he's throwing to this spot where he's not looking. He's looking over here. By the time it's thrown, now he's looking to there. If it quantifies no look to you for him to still be looking that way, that's fine. That's fine. But it's still phenomenal. What I think we can all agree on is that it's fantastic eye manipulation. No look, half a look, squinting. Who cares, man? Who cares? Regardless of what it is, it's eye manipulation. It's him pulling the defenders to a spot and then throwing right off the backside of it. Beautiful. That we can all agree on. Your definition of a no look might be different than mine, but we can all quantify that as high level eye manipulation, which is fantastic, which is something that we haven't seen from a 49ers quarterback. At least I haven't. This Jimmy Garoppolo never did this. Ever. Like literally ever. I remember that was one of the things that made me so surprised about watching Brock in his first start against the Dolphins is that he was manipulating the defense with his eyes. And I was like, wait a second. I've never seen Jimmy do this. And now we have this guy, third string quarterback, coming in off the bench, manipulating coverages just by where he's looking so that he could create the open space with his arm. I think there was three or four like misfires from Purdy. This is one of them. I would love to know like what his thought process. This felt more like, again, another no look because he's not looking at juice and he fires, and then that feels like kind of feels like he was feeling himself a little too much, right? Again, the no look, not looking at his target, and then when he's throwing, yes, he's moves his eyes to the target, but when he starts the decision to throw, he's not looking. And I think that's why he missed, is because he wasn't completely staring him down. Some may call that a no look, but some also may get really upset if you call that a no look. So we'll call it a late look. We'll call it a late look just to keep everyone happy, right? We don't want to get people upset. Oh, it's not a no look. Okay. Well, it's a late look. It's a very, very, very late look, which I think contributed to why he didn't hit that, because he wasn't looking. But hey, that's a conversation for another day. Let's see here. This is just a phenomenal sequence right here. Just to be able to, again, manipulate. You see the pump fake towards Ayuk, pulls 0 out of the spot. He comes off that, understanding what he's looking for within this concept. I don't know what the read progression is, but because 0 bites, he knows he's got the inside to Kittle, and he just absolutely fits that ball in there. Shoo! This thing's pretty. He got that thing out fast. Perfect ball placement. Also about to get hit. Manipulation. Throw. Purdy's still evolving. Purdy is still evolving. And that's the one thing that people are not identifying about his evaluation is that he is still an evolving quarterback. For all the film breakdowns that we've done on Brock Purdy, we're still watching him get better and improve in areas that he wasn't necessarily executing at a high level. So when we're watching Brock, even against the Seahawks, he's still improving. He's still doing things, he's still adding tools to the tool belt. So that's why when people start freaking out about the Arizona game, I just kind of look at it and you look at where the miscues happened, how they happened, and the context in which they happened. I don't understand how you can come out of that Arizona game losing your mind about Brock Purdy being fool's gold or whatever, because it's very easily contextualized and able to understand the miscues that were had. It really, really is. And again, in this game, you not only see him execute at a higher level, but you also see him take it to another level. This is just a great run, great blocking. Puni, McKivitz, Brendel. Again, a lot of people have been coming after Brendel. I really do think Brendel, who had a not the best start to the season, I would say his first 2 weeks were real rough. But man, ever since Twitter put him in his crosshairs, he's responded. No one's saying he's perfect, but he has responded, and you got to respect it. Brendel playing at a high, high level, and getting the job done. Doesn't mean he's perfect. Doesn't mean he's gotten every block. Doesn't mean he hasn't missed a block, but he has definitely improved very much so since he first started this season. And then we're going to get Juice with a beautiful run right up the middle. Nice run. Great angle. Great block by Puni. Beautiful block by Puni. Great job by McKivitz. Look at that. Puni, McKivitz, reliable. You can run behind those two. Crazy. Nice run. Nice run. Seals the win. 49ers get the dub. It was a good win, man. It really was. Brock was able to play really, really well. And not only that, but the offensive line played pretty well for the most part. I think Banks was someone that I wanted to see step up, and I think he did. I don't think he was perfect, but I think he played a lot better than he did in the last couple weeks prior. Rodrigo says, "Hey Brad, would you switch Feliciano for Banks, or would you put Feliciano as he comes, or where would you put?" Like I said, I think Brendel has answered the bell. So I feel like Brendel is continuing to maintain his job. If you would have asked me heading into this week, I definitely would have said Banks because I think Banks has not been playing not only to the 49er standard, I don't think he's playing to his own standard. I've seen Banks play a lot better than he's played over the last couple weeks. So I don't know if Banks is injured or if he's dealing with something, but the last couple weeks, I would say versus Cardinals and versus Patriots, he really struggled. Um, and so I would have said Banks, but I do think Banks played better in this game. And so as it stands right now, I would probably have Feliciano kind of as your swing interior offensive lineman. And I would just wait, I would just wait. And if you feel like you get someone struggling in that a game against the Chiefs, then I think maybe think about rotating in Feliciano and seeing what happens. I do think that this team has proven that they are willing to platoon guys, meaning they'll play two guys at once to get a feel. Um, so I would say I would keep it as it is right now. So I would keep the starting O line. I think Banks played much better, and he I think again wasn't perfect, but he answered the call, which I'm happy about. And so I would keep it. I would keep it as is. Um, but again, if someone's struggling, you also have Burford, you also got Feliciano, so you could go with either one of those guys. Um, how do I think Banks and Puni will look against Chris Jones? I'm excited to see how Puni does against Chris Jones, because that will obviously be his first time going up against him. Banks, I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous for Banks doesn't tends to struggle with the bull rush, and Chris Jones is really good as an interior defensive tackle with speed and power. So he's a guy that can threaten guards with speed to the edges, but he can also run straight through you, and that puts you in a bad spot for an interior offensive lineman. So, but I'm excited to see if Banks can build on this performance. If he can, then that will make me feel a hell of a lot better about Banks moving forward this season. Like, my evaluation of Banks again is I'm comparing him against himself. I'm evaluating against what I've seen from Banks on film in previous years. I feel Banks has regressed this season. And but the thing with regression or just not playing as good as you've played before is you can get back. You can kind of re-engage, re-lock in and get back to that spot. So that's why again, I'm not out on Banks. I was like again, it was super rough the past 2 weeks versus Patriots versus Cardinals. It was rough. And so that's why I said if Banks comes out and has the best game of his season against the Seattle Seahawks, the 49ers will win. And he did. He had the best game of his season. I thought that Banks played his best ball all year against Seattle. Now, it wasn't perfect. There were still some areas to improve upon, but he played better. So if he can build off that win, if he can stack off that game against the Seattle Seahawks, and he takes his game to another level, then we're good. We no problems with Banks. I'm ready to ride with Banks all the way throughout the year. But that's just where again we're kind of tracking where he's at, and right now, if he can keep the uptick going, I don't want Banks to go anywhere. We'll keep him right there at left guard. No need to really make an adjustment. So I'm excited to see what version of Banks we get against the Chiefs because we do know the Chiefs have some good rushers, and we're going to need the offensive line to absolutely be competitive and to be stout. Got to give Brock some time to be able to get out there and make some plays. So aren't we top 5 in pass pro? Don't fix it if it ain't broke. Um, yeah, I don't know. I've been evaluating this offensive line every rep for multiple years. And if you're going to quantify top 5 in pass protection, to me, that's more of a Brock Purdy stat than it is for the offensive line. Now, the offensive line has been playing better, but there again, we see it. Brock Purdy's having to scramble. Brock Purdy's having to make plays. I don't personally think that we have a top 5 unit in pass protection. The If there's any stats that are, I don't know how those stats are generated, but you also have to understand that protection is it's also a quarterback stat, because if your quarterback is holding on to the ball, then that will also make it look like your offensive line isn't holding up. But if your quarterback is getting the ball out of his hands very quickly and he is making quick decisions, whether getting out of the pocket or doing whatever, um, that's why, like, I've never come across a metric that has been able to really quantify, like, how this offensive line stacks against the others, because when I'm watching this offensive line, that I would say that they are playing at a little bit better of a level, but they're still running into those same things where, one guy will get beat, and it just kind of bounces around of like which guy gets beat. But I do think that they are playing at a higher level for sure. Um, I would definitely say that they are playing closer to like a top 10 unit. Again, I'm not watching the other offensive lines, but I would say just based on where they've been ranked previously and comparing them to how they've been playing previously, I would say they're probably a little bit ahead. Um, I think Puni has brought in some consistency. However, you have to keep in mind, um, versus Rams, versus Patriots, versus Cardinals, um, they were generating pressures. They were getting home on stunts. They were so I still think there's room to improve for the group. And again, with Purdy getting the ball out quickly, that's a offensive lineman's best friend. It's a quarterback who gets the ball out quickly, doesn't hold on to the football, doesn't take sacks. So that is there's a lot of duality that comes along with protection stats, and you can actually quantify protection stats as a quarterback stat, um, if you know what you're looking for. So I do think that the offensive line has played better. I still think there's room for them to play even better than they have. And I do think Brock Purdy gets a ball out of his hand very quickly, much quicker than Jimmy Garoppolo, much quicker. Um, so, hey, as long as the offensive line continues to put up performances like they did against Seattle, who I would say, what's that defensive tackle's name? Number 99, Williams. I think he was the best interior defensive tackle that this offensive line has faced so far. And I think that Jared Verse is the best edge that they faced so far. So Williams, holy crap, dude. I was just watching that guy. I was like, dude, if the 49ers could somehow figure out not Quinnen, um, 99 on the the dude they traded for. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. Um, I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. 99 on the Seahawks, traded traded him for him from the Giants. He looked significantly more dominant to me than Quinnen Williams did. So 99 on the Seahawks and Jared Verse, I think, are the best inside out guys that they have faced this year. At least from the Leonard Williams. Thank you. So based on what the tape says of what these guys have faced, I think Leonard Williams gave them a good amount of work on the interior, and Jared Verse gave them a lot of work on the outside. So those are the guys that stand out to me the most of the opposing defenders. Did we talk about McKivitz? How's he doing? He did solid. Like, he did really good. I mean, you look at the juice touchdown, he had a crucial block on that. I really think, all things considered, for again the level of play that I expect from McKivitz, I think he's played well the last 3 weeks. I think McKivitz had a good game against Seattle. There was really not a ton of things that stand out. Again, it's not going to be perfect, and he's going to give up probably 2 to 3 pressures a game. But if you can live with that and what he's able to provide in the run game, I think McKivitz played well. I thought McKivitz played well in this game against Seattle too. So the offensive line, Brendel has improved. I think McKivitz is, taking the steps in the right direction. Banks took the steps in the right direction. I think Puni has had his good and his bad as a rookie, which is par for the course. I think they're all gelling. They're all figuring it out. They're all figuring it out. And if they can all gel against the Chiefs, I mean, I'll say this: the offensive line is set up to gel really well against the Chiefs. That obviously, hopefully, I'm not jinxing them, but if they come out and they perform and they do it at a high level, they are all trending in the direction of all five playing really solidly together against the Chiefs, just based on all their different trajectories of how they've played throughout the season. They have this offensive line has their best, I think, their best chance at having their best game against the Chiefs. And if you're telling me one of the ways that they win, it's for the offensive line to have one of their best games against the Chiefs. So we'll see if that actually happens. But I think they've all made positive improvements, and that's what you want to see as the season progresses. So you can't be mad at that. But I appreciate everyone for tapping in for the film breakdown. I wanted to get that one done just so we could have some fun with it. It was a fun tape to watch. And at least from an offensive standpoint, makes me feel pretty solid on how they're going to be trending into this game against the Chiefs. Mason practiced today with a blue non-contact jersey. That to me is a promising sign. Malik Mustafa was working off to the side today. Not as positive as Mason, but we'll find out. Today was a bonus practice. So Wednesday will give us a better idea. But the fact that Mason was practicing in a blue non-contact is a trend in the right direction. Mustafa off to the side, not practicing. We'll wait and see what his status looks like the rest of the week. But shout out to everyone who tapped in. I appreciate everyone for joining this one. I'm out of here for now. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to